All right, so let's talk about the Colts for a second. So now that we're a few weeks removed from the NFL draft, teams like the Colts still have a few key needs to fill as they try and fill out their rosters to make a potential Super Bowl run. Miles, I know you've got a few notes about some things the Colts may be up to.
Yeah, Nick, it seems as since the Colts have signed Matt Ryan to the team, they are looking to win now. And one thing that is lacking on that team is the wide receiver depth chart. It's kind of sparse. It could use a couple of veteran free agents to boost it up. And there has been, disparaging sides of the rumors of who or who not the Colts have been looking into. One of those names that pops out, obviously, is Julio Jones. There's a direct connection to Matt Ryan from his days in Atlanta. Zach Kiefer, a beat reporter for the Colts, has said they are not yet in talks. They're not in talks with Julio Jones, but that doesn't mean they aren't looking at him as a possible option, and it is only natural to see this as a good fit. There is natural chemistry between Ryan and Julio Jones, and he's a great receiver. He's one of the best receivers of all time. I would go to say he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a great player, and I think this is one of those moves that seems smart for the Colts to sign him on a small 1-year deal, don't you think?
Yeah, you're 100% correct there. Obviously, Michael Pittman's their number one. T.Y. Hilton has moved on. They drafted Alec Pierce in the second round out of Cincinnati, who I really like, but, he's a rookie, second-round pick. He's limited. They do need a key veteran option, and Julio Jones does make the most sense. And look, I know there's a lot of Colts fans out there. They're going to be like, Julio Jones, we watched him with the Titans last year. He was terrible. He wasn't the same Julio Jones. We're not saying you go out and get a veteran trying to be, a key number one guy. That ship has sailed. Those guys are gone. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, those deals already happened. But here's where you bring in a guy, a veteran who has good chemistry to kind of give you that extra edge. I think of what happened with Rob Gronkowski going to Tampa Bay when Brady went to Tampa in 2020. Gronk didn't have a huge year. He only caught 45 passes that year. By his standards, it's terrible. And he wasn't even hurt that year. He played pretty much the whole year. But you're looking for a guy that Matt Ryan has some familiarity with or can trust. Because remember, the Colts have a lot of change. They have a new left tackle in the Bernard Ryman. Obviously, they drafted Alec Pierce. Matt Ryan's into the fold. There's a lot of volatility going on right now in their organization and some stability with a veteran wide receiver. I think Julio Jones makes the most sense. There's a couple other guys out there as well that could be good fits.
Yeah, and I'd just like to reiterate, with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones had 7 1,000-yard seasons. He had 7 Pro Bowls. They were very productive together. Obviously, going to a new team with the Titans, Ryan Tannehill is arguably not as great as passing quarterback as Matt Ryan, and they definitely didn't have the chemistry Julio and Ryan have. So it's a natural fit if they can get him on a good, like you said, like a 1-year small, like $8 million, $10 million deal to win now, because that's what we're looking for, to win now. But there are other options the Colts could look into. Names that are floating around there, obviously, OBJ is still sitting out there. Will Fuller is still floating around. Those are some names that the Colts could be looking into.
Yeah, when you look at the Colts salary cap situation, again, credit to Chris Ballard. They have $13+ million in cap space this year. So right now they have the dollars available to go out and get a veteran guy on a 1-year, $8 million, 1-year, $10 million deal. And again, just like the Rams did with Odell Beckham, you bring in a veteran, give your team that extra boost as you try and make that Super Bowl run. It just makes too much sense. And the Colts really need to take advantage of this.
Yeah. And to reiterate, let's go back through the Colts offensive roster. Okay, we know the receivers. You got Jonathan Taylor, MVP candidate, all-pro running back there. On that offensive line, you got Quentin Nelson, a world beater. You've got your young rookie, Raymond, who looks like he can be a great player as well, especially putting him next to Quentin Nelson on the line. That's going to be a great addition. You got Matt Ryan as your quarterback. Now, these are the tools that would help maybe an aging Julio Jones or maybe OBJ, Will Fuller set up that run game, open up the pass game. They have an offense that is primed. Then you look on the defensive side of the ball, you got the maniac. You got Darius Leonard from South Carolina State, all-pro linebacker. He is all over the field. They recently signed Stephon Gilmore, got the lockdown corner in there. This is a team primed to win now, so a couple more free agent, aging veteran acquisitions could put this team over the top, and I think that's what the Colts are looking to do.